first. Here. Here once more.
Hello, good evening. Evening or morning, noon, night, you know, whatever time it is, depending on your time zone.
Hello, good evening.
Uh-oh. I'm not here. Where am I? Oh no! I forgot to load my avatar. Hang on. Excuse me. I forgot to load the model! Give me a second. Hey, I see we got Zayden and Elweeb. What's up, y'all? Let me out.
Hello.
Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. More. Oh, maybe I should hide that until it's ready.
Nothing much going on, but just happy to be here.
Ah, good to hear, good to hear. Glad you're here. Hey, there I am. Alrighty, y'all ready to get into some creepy videos? Yeah, 9 o'clock on the dot. Let's go ahead and get it done. Alright. Yeah, sorry I didn't do the Saturday stream yesterday, but me and the youngin'... Yay. Yeah, me and the youngin' went to a birthday party yesterday, so... we got home, we were tired, so I had to kind of take a rain check on it. Alright. Let's get some videos going here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Dooba-dooba-doo.
Most disturbing games follow the same formula. Jump scare, a chase scene.
Pause!
So that explains it, LOL.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. Alright. I love it when a page takes forever to load, so the video is just playing. Alright, we got a Nuke's Top 5 new video. We just posted a couple hours ago. So, okay. Get you over her. And go to video. Wendy capture.
Hello, Jerry.
Hey, there we are.
This is my pet Jerry.
Alright. Nuke's Top 5.
A woman named Kelly from North Carolina says that her brother Rick has experienced paranormal activity in his home for the last couple of years.
Do I know how to spell what?
Bacon. B-A-C-O-N.
Yeah, that's right.
Bacon. How do you
So
know?
my brother has poltergeist.
Because I'm old enough to know how to spell it.
Now come to find out it's not attached to the house, it's attached to him.
There we go.
Attached to something I have.
Or something he has. That's fine, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're lucky I'm in the car with him. He lives alone and has started to get poltergeists. And the mediums that he had come in said it's because he has something in his possession that's haunted, but he has no idea what it is and he can't find it.
Kelly's brother has even recorded some very strange activity on the security camera in his home.
What, the dust floating in the air? Okay, well, the door opening, yeah, but that could be a hoax. You know, that could be just somebody opening it. Okay, yeah, that was a little
Now,
weird,
at first
yeah.
we see just some so-called, quote, ghostly orbs, which, let's be honest, that's probably just dust.
Yeah.
But then a door mysteriously just opens on its own. And then, creepiest of all, some strange dark mist
Looks
or
like
shadow
dust.
just seems to
Yep.
float right across the living room.
You're a bacon girl.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, look.
There's something
Oh, I
even
see.
weirder in this video that was pointed out by video commenters.
Kinda looks like it.
But I'll let Kelly explain.
The comment section is insane and made this video so much more freaky. right when the first orb comes, whether it's dust or not, it doesn't matter. There is a groan. My brother is sleeping. This is very late at night, so enjoy and listen for the groan.
Now, I've
A
reduced some
groan,
of the background
okay.
noise in the clip, and I've enhanced the audio just slightly to make it easier to hear. Otherwise, the audio is untouched. So, listen closely.
I love mouse. I love mouse.
Oh, I kind of heard it, I
Kelly's
think.
brother has also experienced other weird things, like taking a picture of an unexplained shadow figure that seems to just occasionally hover above the stairs in midair. One day, Rick hears the door slam.
And then it was gone.
So he takes out his phone and starts filming. But he's really just hoping it might just be his little cat Felix making some noise.
Kitty.
Felix.
Go get him, Puss. Go get him, honey.
Felix.
Felix the cat. Yeah, you totally didn't just have a buddy back there to shut the door
Notice
on
that
you.
just before the door slams, a shadow seems to suddenly appear in the crack of the door. Now, obviously, if the video has been faked, this could be a person. But weirdly, the shadow doesn't seem to have legs or any bottom half at all. So it's months later, and Kelly says that her brother was at home just working at his computer. And then
Feelings, mouse.
this happens.
Mice. Is she don't know it's supposed to. She hates Satan.
Yeah, I could see a silhouette in some sort.
Yeah. Like I said, there is nothing disproving that it's just, you know, he's got somebody
Notice
doing
that.
that.
A strange dark shadow seems to completely block out the light as it passes through the hallway, before another door nearby just slammed shut violently. Now, it should definitely be noted that Kelly's brother Rick doesn't want any sort of fame or notoriety for his videos.
That's what they all say.
He doesn't have a TikTok account of his own. As for Kelly, his sister who posted the videos, she also has made it quite clear that she has no interest in becoming a, quote, ghost channel.
I am
Uh-huh.
the forefront leader in all things ghost videos. My brother has a few
Was-
scary videos I thought I'd post. I am not going to be the person you go to for ghost content.
I am totally fine with being your...
What is it they would always say? Everybody's looking for their 15 minutes of fame. Mm-hmm.
source, by the way. Anyway, so what do you think about the strange paranormal activity in Rick's home? Let me know down in the comments. A quick look around. Nuke's Top 5 viewer Rianne Maldonado recently sent me a very strange video that is like something right out of a horror movie. Now, Rianne works as a psychic medium, so she is no stranger to the paranormal or the supernatural. But one day, while her family is relaxing at home and watching TV, something happens that even freaks her out. Rianne says that her two youngest daughters have taken an interest in hairstyling, so they will often have their styling mannequins downstairs. And this is when things take a terrifying turn.
Oh, something happens with the mannequins, right?
Everything makes sense. And then telling up what they call the bridge. It was, this is good. And the next one.
There's somebody behind the couch moving it. Come on,
Yes,
people.
indeed.
You know, everybody paid for that.
Come on, y'all gotta try harder than that. Come on.
The bridge, it's a metaphor. Your spirituality, your relationship.
Don't say that to my mice.
It's supposed to become more able
Go
to
get her,
see what-
Jerry.
And then there are videos operating
Ow, Jeffin, stop!
That's the soul.
No one in the room even notices as the creepy head of the styling mannequin seems to just slowly turn to look at the family. But it doesn't stop there. The head not only turns, but seems to slowly glance back and forth to take a good look around.
There is somebody behind that couch moving it. Y'all, come on.
Even the entire family notices. And understandably, they just kind of freak right out.
Here's clip 2. My little girl jumped off the couch, ran over to me, I'm frantically telling my husband, oh
Man,
my
if you
gosh,
be like what you're watching,
my daughter's
lol.
covering her mouth. I'm like, oh my
Stop
God.
it!
He's
Hey, turn that back. I was watching that.
I'm covering my face like, oh my God, I cannot believe this happened. And now I'm gesturing at the living room camera, saying, get your phone. You've got to look at this. You've got to
Yeah,
look
your
at this."
acting is not very good
Maldonado
either.
tells me that they checked behind the couch and the counter, but
I
they
figured.
found nothing to explain the strange movements of the mannequin head.
Right.
So just what is happening here? Child's play. A young woman named Stephanie posted a cute video
Too
of her toddler
easy.
just playing around, crawling over their couch and having fun. Later, she posts her video to the internet so her friends and family can watch her son play. But then, viewers begin to notice something in the video that gives them the chills.
Is that Dora? Hola, mi amo Dora.
Oh, stop!
Hey Luna,
What?
try to keep it down over there, sweetie.
But this more
Viewers
keeps
spot some
hitting
strange
me.
Well, don't
little
be so
figure
loud
poking
about it.
around the baby's playpen,
Oh, I saw it.
next to the floor. Stephanie says that she never noticed this little figure before she posted
Could
the
be
video
Dora.
and viewers mentioned it. She says that no other children were anywhere around, and she has no idea who this little peeking figure is. But if you notice, her child starts to head into the room. Then he exits quickly. But later he walks right back in like nothing is there. So just who or what is
Looks
this?
like a dog.
You decide.
Yeah, either that or it's they
There's a
actually
creepy
do have
video
another
filmed by a
kid,
woman named Nicole of her young son,
doing that.
Hendrix.
and they
Now,
just
what
thought
is
it looked
really odd
creepy.
here is that the little
So
boy
they
seems
decided to say,
actually
"Oh no,
react to
what is
something
that?"
we can't see.
Thank you, Jerry. You're safe.
When little baby Hendrix opens the door, a creepy voice seems
You named
to
him
whisper,
Hendrix?
Yes. And the little boy just shuts the door in the spirit's face and nopes his way right out of there.
He totally didn't
Shocked
add
and
that in
slightly
post.
amused viewers of the clip decided to add their own subtitles, which actually sound pretty accurate. Just listen.
I mean, I would do the same.
Oh, what? Shut the door and
So did the little boy hear
nope,
the
nope,
voice
nope.
of a spirit? And did he indeed just say nope to a ghost? Tell me what you think.
Wait, where's Jerry? Where is he?
Before we move on to the next
Love
video,
that.
if you see anything that you think should be included
Yeah, they totally didn't add that sound in post or anything.
in the top 5, contact us at nukestop5@gmail.com. Strangely haunting. Now, these are just some quick clips of people who claim to have caught some very unusual paranormal activity around their home.
Stupid cat.
But as
come back
always,
here.
I leave it up to you to
Yeah.
decide. So, late one night, a man named
Back
John hears
here,
strange
rat.
movements coming from his bedroom down the hall.
Gotcha.
John says that he has experienced some strange
Yeah.
events in his house, so he begins filming as he peeks inside his bedroom. What he captures chills him to his core.
Thank you. Thank you, friend.
In the room, two mirrors are facing each other, but only one of the mirrors reflects a strange, horrifying face. John turns, but there's just nothing there.
Right.
What's the pizza, everyone?
Next up, a man is renovating his new house, but as construction continues, it starts to seem like something in the house is not so happy with all the new changes.
I'm not going up there. Definitely not going back there.
Oh wow, it is really cold right here.
Oh yeah.
We just have to take your word for it, buddy.
Well, buddy, my friends are needing me so sadly, calling it short.
Aww. Okay, well, hope you had fun. Thanks for stopping by.
Lurking in the corner. Not surprisingly, the guy decides
Dad,
to
stop hitting
just
her.
get
She's a
out of
queen.
there.
I don't think it's happy we're here.
Sorry, Fred. Look at him, Jerry.
I will thank you and I'll make it up to you next time.
So bad.
In this next creepy clip, a guy named Frank claims
Jerry,
that one
help
night he
me.
spotted something very strange behind a shelf in his living room. He grabbed his phone and began recording.
Where is Tom?
I saw something, a flash of something.
Frank films something making odd movements as it slowly disappears right in front of his eyes.
Ghost is back there jorking it, I guess. I don't know.
Odd things have been happening around her home. She says that the bizarre incidents have even begun to upset her loyal dog, Gunther.
Okay, I'm so crazy, right? Come here, dog. Baby is terrified. Hold on.
Hold on. I heard noises, but I also had to wash some dishes. Yeah, okay. That checks out.
I'm trying to make a burp song.
No.
You're okay.
Ooh, I used to have a dog named Tiger that had that same coat.
You're okay.
You want a dog? Let's buy you a dog.
How about you play your game?
Dad, can you
The
play
woman says that she
Roblox?
believes that the
No, I'd rather
poltergeist
not.
activity
No.
started after she purchased an antique necklace
No,
at an
thanks.
estate sale. She says she
Please,
recently
please.
got rid of that
Up to
necklace.
$5.
The
Luna.
house of hurt
I'm
and pain.
streaming, baby.
The ghost hunting team Soul Seekers Paranormal sets out to investigate the House of Hurt and Pain, located in Abington, Massachusetts.
They lived here. Their last name is Hurt. That's how we get the name Hurt. And the current last name of the new owner is Pain. So it's Hurt and Pain. It's a play on words.
The old farmhouse was built in the late
Yeah,
1800s,
you
and it is
think
known that
so?
at least
Never
4
would have
people
guessed.
have passed away inside the house, and maybe more.
We do know for certain that 4 people have died in this house. 1 during the Great Depression. I haven't gotten the backstory on the other one. And then the other 2 were the previous owner's parents.
The house is believed to be haunted by multiple ghosts, including a dark, sinister spirit referred to only as Ed. Soul Seekers Paranormal are joined by Matt, Lisa, and the current homeowner, Steven, as they begin their investigation downstairs in the old Hurt and Pain farmhouse. Almost immediately, things start to get a little spooky.
And there's also one in Dorothy's room.
I heard that too. Yeah.
The group hears a loud thump coming from a nearby room that was once the bedroom of Dorothy, an elderly woman who passed away inside the house. Then, as they all head upstairs to investigate the rest of the home, things start to get really weird. Each team member sits in a different room upstairs as they film with a thermal camera. Now, it should be noted here that with a thermal camera, humans appear in warmer tones of red and yellow, but cold objects appear as blue and white. As the guys film, they catch something downright creepy.
Now, if you get the chance to actually
Hold on. Did anybody just move?
No.
I don't know if I'm seeing things, so I'm like getting tired, but I could have sworn I saw like a shadow on the wall in front of me. Like directly in front of Matt's left, like where that picture is on the wall. It was directly to Matt's left.
Right here?
Yes, that wall right there.
Whoa.
You didn't move.
Whoa.
What? Something that looks like a featureless face and head seems to peek out of a room and look right at Matt. The head can't be seen by the naked eye, but the thermal camera picks up its cold blue temperature. Again, note that anything warm like a human being would show up as red, but whatever this strange face is a very pale, cold blue. Now, researcher Corey is actually sitting in the same room where the head just peeked out, but he caught nothing on film and didn't really see anything. But just a minute later, as Corey films in that same room, he accidentally catches something truly chilling.
If yes, can you confirm that device? Did Alan and I just see you? Was that your hand we just saw?
Trapped.
Trapped?
It said trapped?
Yes.
Who's trapped you here?
Is there a certain something or certain somebody that's keeping you stuck in this house?
Without even noticing, Corey films some dark mass that seems to appear in mid-air, drop to the floor, and quickly move out into the hall. Again, something strange has just materialized in that same room over the course of only a couple of minutes. But no one could see it. Soulseekers Paranormal only discovered this disturbing clip later while editing down their video footage.
Of course.
Did the team catch evidence of a real haunting at the old Hurt and Pain farmhouse? You decide. If you would like to watch this entire video, check out the channel Soulseekers Paranormal NE. Mysterious Creatures. A guy named Don Rivas says that he was working security at an Old Navy store when he noticed a man that seemed to be shoplifting. But later, when Don watched the CCTV footage back, he noticed something in the video that totally freaked him out.
Look right here. Look right here. Right here. Look. Look, watch. What is that? What is that? And it's just gone, bruh.
Bruh.
It's there, and now it's not. It's there, and now it's not, bro. What is that?
Bruh.
What is that? What is that?
So some sort of little, I don't know what that thing is, but it seems to appear and then disappear right behind the man's leg. Viewers have speculated that the figure could be anything from a mischievous troll to even some sort of small demon. But what do you think?
It's there.
People always think it's something like that.
It's there, and now it's not, bro. What is that?
In this next clip, a woman in Compton, California says that one night her front door Ring camera caught a very strange trespasser walking beside her house.
Oh. I love how oh shit, you can't see it because I'm in the way. Hang on, let me move the picture a bit. I love how just above the oh wait. Just above the little creepy guy here, you've got the sign. I know it's like some kind of bless this house kind of thing, but it just in big bold letters you see dear God. But it's like right up so it's like, dear God, what is that thing?
The woman says she has no idea who or what this could be.
That does look weird, I'll give it that.
Causing a stir in the alien subreddits. So, is this an alien gray out taking a random stroll around the neighborhood? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. Footprints. David from Oakland, California runs his own contracting business. But when he is hired to remodel a room where a 3-year-old girl tragically passed away in a fire, things get truly bizarre. Because of all the remodeling, the floor is covered in white drywall dust. David arrives at work one day to see this.
Okay, so our last video wasn't too long, but in comparison to 10 minutes, I calmed it. Anyways, I'm just getting into work, right? Nobody in this unit. I'm the only one besides the owner with the key. The owner lives all the way in New York. I'm in Oakland, California. So this unit had a fire a few years back. This was a little girl's room. This was her room. And I'm like lost for work right now, I'm sorry, but crash my bed, like getting chills, hair standing up on my arms. But the girl that happened to pass away in this unit was 3 years old. Look at what the fuck I see on the ground. Those are not an adult-sized footprint. 1 inch of wall. This is where her bed was at, right here. I talked to the owner, I video called him and everything. And I've been here, and little kids laughing. I just thought it was coming from outside. It's like a little. I felt something go like this in my ear, and yeah, I hear all the activity coming from that closet. And right here, but this really baffled me. Like I said, nobody else has the keys. There's no kids in here. I lock up everything. It's a 4-unit complex. Nobody's in here. Nobody. Been in here, there's an alarm system, so we got paranormal activity. We use little feet. We use little cute little feet. If you're in here, ghosts, I mean no harm. I'm Uncle Dave. You call me Uncle Dave. Just fixing up your room for you. Okay? Yeah, I believe in ghosts. So,
right.
If you have anything paranormal, share it on ghosts. But man, I work in every environment, even if it's haunted. You know, but yeah, no, but
yeah, we just heard that little hi.
Say something, get some ghosts or whatever. Like, capture those activities, share it, man. Okay, peace out. God is love. See you later.
Now, David's video is already weird enough, but when he posts this video to the internet, his viewers notice something even creepier that David didn't even hear.
Yeah,
like
the little hi.
58 seconds into the video, a soft female voice can be heard saying, "Hi."
Yeah. No. No.
Then again, about 15 seconds later, as David signs off his video, the soft female voice is back, and it can be heard saying, "Bye."
God is love. See you later. See you later.
Now, David says that no one else was there with him, and it should be noted that David has never posted any paranormal video to his page before this.
How
so
you
did
don't
David
hear
encounter
that
the ghost
LOL.
of the little girl who passed away in the fire in this room?
Right.
You decide. Cop out. Brothers Jake and Noah Bruce are
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're just supposed to take all of that on his word, and that's it. Right. Okay. He surely did not just hear that story about the house and then decided he was going to try to make a little viral video by making it seem like it was haunted. And then a mock-up of all that stuff. No, nah, not at all.
Like maybe at first, but not hearing it in post.
Ohio City,
Yeah.
Ohio. The giant 4-story school was built in 1914 and is said to be haunted by multiple ghosts. Visitors claim to have seen several spirits, including the misty apparition of a young girl, a woman in white who roams the school hallways, and even the sinister, angry spirit of a man who took his own life right behind the school. So Jake and Noah find bits of paranormal evidence here and there, strange noises and weird voices on their spirit box.
Dude.
That was running. That was running. Dude. So guys, we are going to... Has this been on? What was that?
don't find much evidence of paranormal activity. But later, as the two brothers split up and Jake goes to do an EVP session in the school's basement, something happens that is absolutely terrifying. But it's not what Jake expects. Not at all.
What?
Jake! Oh my God, Jake!
What?
Was that inside? Yeah. Shh. Get down here now. Now get down here, dude. No, you come with me, bro. That was on my level. Call the cops on my phone now. Call the cops. Call the cops. Get down.
As Jake is doing his investigation, real gunshots ring out from somewhere in or around the abandoned school.
Oh, those were gunshots?
I'm at the old Liberty High School. There's shots fired. Please come here quick.
Yeah, we don't want to be found out by whoever that was shooting, but let me put the phone on speaker. Right.
Kind of, but not really. And we just heard the gunshots right outside, and I ran up here, and we hear them entering. It sounds like it.
Okay, where does it sound like the shots came from?
Outside by the north side.
Eventually, the local sheriff's department arrives on the scene to investigate.
Put your hands up. Pull a sticker. Thank you all. Yep. Move over here. No, we have nothing.
Are you the callers?
Yes, yeah, we are.
So what happened?
Well, we're in
Right here.
We're in here filming a ghost video of all things, and I was kind of standing down here in the cellar, and it sounded like it had to have been like in this parking lot, just like 7 shots. So I ran up to him where he was up in the gymnasium, and we just heard like rattling on the door, and that's when we were like, yeah, we should probably call.
But now, this is when things get really weird. So Jake and Noah are outside, but they're static.
You know, I will admit that is actually scary because that's real stuff.
Cameras are still in the school and are still filming as the policemen head inside. The officers don't find any armed gunmen, but they do find, something.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, Remio? Welcome. What the hell did they see?
Not going at my only house for Thursday. Here is a sea monster.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. On standby for bad messages.
Are you serious? For real?
Oh, good, thanks.
Like, what do you mean? Wait, what? For real? So
So right there on the second floor,
Yes.
we were looking this way. I heard pitter patter, like that, along the, what would that be? The east wall.
Where is Luna?
And then
In the background, in the back of the room, other side of the room, I mean, playing her Roblox.
Yeah, body cam? No. We were talking about you guys. Let's just walk out for a second.
Yes, I know.
Really black in there. Movement behind us, and we just ran.
For real.
Because there's nobody in there.
Okay. Dude.
I've never seen anything like that. That's actually scared me. Good luck.
Damn. All right. Well. Great.
So, if you guys need anything else or hear anything else,
Yeah. Well,
hopefully if it's a human being, let us know.
yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate you guys checking. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I wonder how legit that actually
While
is.
Jake and Noah didn't seem to find any ghosts in the old abandoned Liberty High School, apparently the Ohio City Sheriff's
He on
Department
X
did
Games
see
mode.
something.
There's nobody in there, but there's something in there.
Something that they just can't explain.
Oh my god, he on that ass
The
game.
cops saw a ghost. Yeah, guys, we're gonna get out of here as fast as we f***ing can. Ran in the history of paranormal. Have you seen cops on camera run out of a damn building and say good luck and leave?
Heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not really sure. Oh, hey, Dan Bell. I haven't seen Dan Bell's ghost videos. I mainly watch his other series, Another Dirty Room. I like that series. He hasn't posted that one in a while. I don't think. I'll have to look. Maybe YouTube just forgot to tell me.
His friend Will traveled the United States filming strange and abandoned places. One sweltering day as they are traveling through the New Mexico desert, they spot a rundown abandoned travel lodge and decide to take a look inside. But the old abandoned travel lodge turns out to be quite a bit more terrifying than Dan and his friend Will ever expected. First, Dan almost steps on a coiled rattlesnake.
Oh,
Did
jeez.
you watch the new Oddvisra video?
No, we haven't watched that yet.
Right there.
Oh, shit.
It's a rattlesnake. I didn't even see him before I actually stepped over him.
Without even realizing it,
I have
Dan had
seen
walked
it was
right by the
crazy.
snake earlier, but luckily,
Well, no
just didn't get
spoilers.
bit.
Walked right past him. You can see my footprint right there. And he didn't rattle.
But little does Dan know that things are about to take a much more terrifying turn.
It the toe bitter.
Whoa, whoa, what? The hell?
Dan feels a sting on the back of his head and turns around to find a huge angry swarm of
Oh.
bees that formed a hive inside the old travel lodge.
Oh,
the aggressive
shit.
killer bees attack them en masse as Dan yells in pain. Dan and Will both run for the exit, with Dan frantically dropping his camera to the ground.
He is tweaking.
Luckily, Dan and Will escape with some very severe and painful stings, but nothing too serious.
Oh, that's
The
good.
two guys wait a few hours until the bees calm down, and then Dan finally retrieves his camera, and they hit the road again, happy to be far away from the angry swarm of African killer bees. Talking head.
Damn.
A young woman named Mara says that her aunt came to pick her up at her house one day and noticed the neighbor's little girl acting very strangely.
Oh? She's talking to nobody. You know, the spooky music is just kind of cheesy. You're kind of just forcing us to be scared.
Where the f did she just go?
The young girl seems to be talking to no one. Then she strangely paces away, turns and nods, and talks again to whoever. as the woman
Oh, it's
pans her
almost...
over to try to...
It's almost like children have these things called imaginary friends. I know, right? Come on.
See who the girl is talking to. The little girl just disappears from sight. Now, there is something in this video that some
kids are just weirdos like that, man.
But did you see it?
No.
As the woman pans away from the girl right before she disappears, some pale, featureless little face seems to peek out from behind one of the pots for just a fraction of a second.
How do you know it's a face? That looks like a hand or something.
Even more proof that something spooky was going on here. But then some believe that this could just be another kid that was hidden by the pot and who the little girl was talking to.
Yeah.
But no one is quite sure why the kid doesn't seem to have a face. But is it real paranormal activity or just a kid acting a bit weird? Let me know what you think.
It's just some weirdo kids.
Scurry videos. Now, if you watch my channel on a regular basis...
Luna. Go get your food, baby.
I got a bit of fight.
Hang on, give
It's
her
gonna get cold and then you won't eat it.
Okay, coming.
Hold on, she's... Alright, hurry up. Alright, there you go.
I'm stuck. Ah!
Oh, you can get up, silly. Come on. Alright. I gave her medicine already. Alright, Luna, go eat your food. Alright.
You probably know that these are videos that are a little spooky or a little weird, but mostly just kinda goofy. Case in point, if you're going out to the woods in the middle of the night to take some artsy photographs, you should probably know what's in those woods.
Who did you tell about meds?
Look at that.
Oh, wait. Ah, excuse me, goodness. My ma.
Slow it in.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm going first.
Where's my shell cup?
Your what?
Shell cup.
Your shell cup. Oh, it's in the... Mom probably had to wash it.
Where's my spider cup?
Now, okay, here, hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back.
Hey, I really...
Yeah, I know. Okay. Alright.
You gotta be lower than that. Look at him, he moved.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, it's about to catch something.
Hmm? Oh, I hear that.
Was it chaos?
Y'all ready to go back?
Y'all ready to go back?
Look, the scary movies, which one they take? Yo, let's
wait. Wait.
Now, those sounds are just a pack
Yeah,
of coyotes on the
it's
prowl.
coyotes, yeah.
Coyotes almost never ever hurt humans. But if I heard that in the middle of the dark woods, I'd probably have this same reaction. Then I'd get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, I featured several clips of dogs accidentally scaring their owners.
If a dog's scared, I'm scared.
But this was absent, and the dogs were not prepared.
What the dog doing?
Oh, he don't like that.
Now, whether you thought that was funny or not, come on, that's one hell of a trick. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, next. When you settle in with your friends to talk about demons and freaky, weird paranormal stuff, you should be aware of your surroundings.
So, like, demonic spirits are obviously connected to the devil, right?
What is going on with that,
Usually
Dad?
things that are demonic, they make noises 3 times to mock the three bells. Not the 3 bells. But yes, that too, but Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. So the fact that it was church bells and it was mocking the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, that's insane.
I never thought of that.
That's there's 5 of us, so we're safe.
What is your favorite song to listen to, God?
Now, that is just a typical car dome light turning off at...
Hang on a second again. Oh god, that youngin' eats a lot. back. Alright.
After a set time, exactly like it's supposed to. But just for a second, I think these girls thought it was an attack from hell. So, thanks so much for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe.
His face is good.
And hopefully, I will see you back here next time.
Do you have a favorite song you like?
Well, I don't know. I got a few. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I don't know why my screen does that sometimes. Alright. There's this one. There it is, Abyssal Detective. I swear that's an AI voice because it sounds exactly like Rob Gavigan. Sounds exactly like Rob Gavigan.
Blue screen crash.
No, it didn't blue screen. No, nothing that drastic or terrifying. But anyways. But they cover some pretty creepy stuff. The only thing is, their thumbnails are absolutely mock-up clickbait shit. I wish they wouldn't do that, because the videos are actually interesting. See what I mean? Like, these thumbnails are, like, absolutely, dumb. See, like this right here, that thumbnail right there is absolutely that chick from Terrifier. So these thumbnails leave much to be desired. Let's see. See what I mean? These thumbnails are so dumb. And that right there is very clearly from The Shining.
Thumbnails in general went downhill TBH.
Yeah, true. Why don't we do this screw your trigger warning thumbnail one?
Of things you absolutely should never search up. We'll start with the disturbing and slowly make our way to some of the most vile things I could find on the internet. This iceberg certainly isn't for everyone, so viewer discretion is highly advised. Level 1. The Pariah Pipeline Incident. There are certain tragedies that are unavoidable. You can call them a work of fate. However, there are some that are completely preventable and only turn into tragedies because of gross negligence. Pariah Pipeline incident is one of the biggest examples of it.
Oh, I think I know what they're talking about.
5 divers working under LNCS Limited were tasked with repairing an oil pipeline owned by Pariah Fuel Trading Company near the Trinidad and Tobago town of Pointe-au-Pierre. Things seemed to be going perfectly fine for the 5 men who had taken off their scuba gear at an air chamber beneath the opening of the pipe. The problem came when the inflatable cover of the pipe wouldn't come off. The divers didn't think much of it and manually shimmied the cover off. That was precisely where things became deadly. Due to the pressure difference between the air chamber and the pipe, a vacuum effect was created, forcefully sucking all 5 men into the 30-inch dark pipe. What's worse was that the lack of light and direction made their escape not just difficult, it made it almost impossible.
That is terrifying.
They were disoriented and severely injured from the massive pressure difference. A few minutes later, after trying to get themselves together as much as possible, all 5 divers decided to move forward, crawling slowly but surely toward what they predicted was the pipe's opening. Unfortunately, things only got worse. 3 of the divers, Kazim Ali Jr., Yusuf Henry, and Rishi Nagasar, were understandably shaken and couldn't bring themselves to keep going, knowing the pipe likely had parts fully submerged under water. The other 2, Faisal Kurban and Christopher Boudram, kept going, hoping to find an end to their nightmare. Halfway through, Faisal told Christopher that he was completely exhausted and just couldn't go on. Christopher Boudram, the only survivor, somehow fought his way out of the pipe hours after the incident. When he escaped, there was no emergency rescue operation in place. The reason effectively being, there's nothing we can do. Pariah Fuel Trading Company, the state-owned firm overseeing the project, effectively blocked any immediate intervention. According to them, the rescue operation was too dangerous, and that they had no legal responsibility to rescue them.
Wow.
The 4 men trapped inside that nightmare eventually passed away after 3 days of being stuck in a pitch-black underwater.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable nightmare. Your eyes burning. Every time you try to open your eyes, burning. You're pitch black, you can't see nothing. Your throat burning. Your ears ringing. Your body sore. And at that point, I tell myself I was going to dead.
Doesn't get any more horrific. Rocco's Basilisk. Thought experiments are precisely what they are called. Just thought experiments. But if there's one experiment out there that essentially just predicts your own eternal doom, Rocco's Basilisk is exactly that. A theory so unsettling that even knowing about it might be a mistake. In 2010, a user named Rocco posted on the rationalist forum Less Wrong that presented a very unique and frankly absurd idea. It was an idea that blended artificial intelligence, game theory, and existential horror, and would not have been taken very seriously if not for the potential implications. Rocco's Basilisk basically plays with the idea of an omnipresent AI entity who has, in effect, taken over humanity. However, this future superintelligent AI might punish anyone who knew it could exist but didn't actively work to create it. Because, in its eyes, ensuring its own existence is the ultimate priority, and it'll retroactively punish those who weren't proactive in creating it, just to evoke a feeling of subservience for its future subjects. Basically, a deterrent for those to come. You could consider it an AI rendition of Pascal's wager, basically. The theory states that the benefits of believing in God's existence grandly outweigh the potential consequences of not believing in divinity. But instead of God here, we have an omnipresent AI being. The Basilisk is a being so advanced that it wouldn't just shape the future, it would reach back into the past to ensure its own inevitability. The concept was so distressing that Eliezer Yudkowsky, co-founder of Less Wrong, banned discussions on it entirely. Ironically, this only made it more infamous and got it global. Logically, the theory falls apart in several places.
Hey man, he can't help the way he look.
Less like a fish and more like something that should have stayed in prehistory. The thing is positively horrifying. It has a long eel-like body that may even be misidentified as a snake from a distance. Multiple rows of nightmarish needle-like teeth that can be counted up to 300. And
Damn.
a very strange, slithery way of moving. It's the closest thing we have to a real-life alien, or some mythical abyssal horror. And
I'm sorry, that image right there makes it look like a certain different kind of snake. If you get my meaning.
thing we have to a real-life alien, or some mythical abyssal horror. And it's definitely not hard to see why some people compare it to creatures like the Titanoboa. There's just something so undeniably ancient and unnatural about the way it looks. Moreover, its name comes from some very freakish-looking gill slits that give it a frilled ruffle. Scientists consider it a living fossil, meaning that it has remained practically unchanged for millions of years, which honestly makes sense. Anything that survives this long without evolving clearly doesn't need to. Fortunately, regardless of how it looks, frilled sharks are not aggressive towards humans, as far as we know. They haven't really encountered humans in their habitat, so it's pretty natural that they pose no real threat to us. That doesn't mean they're not aggressive by nature. The way of hunting is oddly similar to that of a snake, where they strike their prey by lunging at it at full speeds. If anything, it's proof that nature is just as capable of designing horrors as any sci-fi writer. And frankly, it's way scarier than some hypothetical AI thought experiment. Clock spider. If you look up clock spider on Google, the first few pictures you come across will definitely make you question reality. Surely a spider that big can't be real, right?
It's a huntsman spider. They're harmless. They're just big. But they're harmless, yeah.
The urban legend of the clock spider started when an internet user posted a picture of a really large clock with equally massive spider legs creeping up from behind it. The internet naturally went
Found
into a frenzy.
Spider-Man.
People were doing all sorts of things to figure out whether this thing was real or just an elaborate Photoshop job. Eventually, some more images and videos surfaced, showing equally grotesque-looking massive spiders that strangely had a thing for hiding behind clocks.
Is a spider.
That's where the name clock spider came from. In
Oh.
reality, these spiders are most likely huntsman spiders, a species native to Australia known for their absurdly long legs, which can easily reach a foot in length. They're undeniably creepy, and they have an unfortunate habit of sneaking into people's homes for shelter. But despite their diabolical appearance, they're generally harmless to humans.
See?
That being said, a live encounter with something that looks
Here is a
straight out
sea
of nightmare
monster
is
of
definitely
Batman
not
head.
ending well for either party. Level 2. Centipede Mob. Centipedes are already many people's worst nightmare.
Oh, I hate centipedes.
They take things to an entirely new level. Unlike
Oh my
so many
God.
other invertebrates out there, these creatures exhibit a form of parental care that's both uncharacteristically fascinating and, frankly, nightmare-inducing. What they essentially do as a form of parental care is they wrap themselves around their eggs as a form of protection.
Okay, now that's just cute.
Go through each egg to clean it of any fungus or potential external
Now see, that doesn't creep me out. I think that's cute. That's sweet.
the eggs hatch, and all these segmented bodies, which can easily reach up to 35 in number,
Na 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 Batman.
Na 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 Batman.
sight alone is enough to make your skin crawl. And here's where it gets worse. The mother senses that her babies are sick, weak, or just not viable.
She'll eat them.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Worse
Well, I
still,
expect
there are
that.
some centipede species out there that exhibit matrophagy. It's a brutal survival mechanism where the offspring inside the mother's protective shell will consume her. to
Batman
derive
vs. Liu Kang, who wins?
So yeah,
Batman.
next time you think of looking up centipede reproduction, just do it. Some things are better left unseen.
That one really wasn't that bad. Like I said, centipedes do creep me out. I hate centipedes, but the way she cuddles them all in a ball protectively is really cute. And then the part about she'll eat the weak ones or they'll eat her for nutrition as they're growing. That's just nature.
By the way, I can play my fighting game.
Yeah, are you done eating?
Yeah.
Did you put your bowl up?
Yeah.
And you okay. Did you tell Mama good night?
I forgot it.
Yeah, go give her night nights. Because you gotta go to bed, actually. It's bedtime. Yeah, well, that's just nature, you know? I kind of expected that. That's why I guessed it. Alright, it's bedtime for you,
Hang on,
Luna.
I can play a new game.
It's bedtime.
It's not bedtime yet.
It's 10 o'clock, Luna. You need to get in bed.
Let's see what time it is.
Normal to see some very strange and unnaturally large creatures in the deep sea. It's an actual phenomenon called deep sea gigantism.
It's 9:08.
Oh, yeah, that. Deep sea gigantism. It's bedtime.
Case in point, the deep sea ice.
I want to play boss food.
You can play more tomorrow. It's bedtime.
That look like something that shouldn't exist. Yet they do. Deep sea isopods belong to the Bathynomus genus and are distant relatives of the tiny pill bugs you see on land.
Yeah, I love pill bugs.
In the palm of your hand, they can grow over 20 inches long. They are literally some of the largest crustaceans in this world.
If Batman was to fight Liu Kang, who would win?
Batman.
Give them this weird appearance that makes them almost look like a creature from Star Wars. Let's not forget their 14 spindly legs that may look harmless but are very sharply hooked at the bottom.
I'm sorry, I thought this was supposed to be disturbing, creepy stuff. This is nothing.
But what truly sets them apart is how they survive. These creatures lurk on the ocean floor and basically feed on whatever drifts from above. It could literally be anything. Fish, whale carcasses, or even human remains.
Now how you turn this off?
Deep parts of the ocean.
This is cute animals, not creepy animals.
Right?
Despite how unnatural they look, they are purposely designed for the environment. Level 3. Xenomorph wasp.
A what now?
There's probably not a soul on this earth who hasn't heard of the term xenomorph from the Alien franchise. It's a nightmarish creature that relies on parasitism to reproduce, survive, and grow into its menacing adult.
Alien wasp.
The xenomorph wasn't just a random creation pulled from someone's imagination. It was based on some very real organisms found right here on Earth. The most well-known group that mirrors this horrifying life cycle is parasitic wasps. Some of them discovered recently.
Oh yeah, parasitic wasps.
After the xenomorph itself, like the Lycogenitea xenomorph.
Cut my life into pieces.
Turn it down a bit, Luna. Turn it down a bit.
Wasp would lock in on a caterpillar, the most common host for these strange abominations. She would stab
The song by Johnny Cage in the L intro with Noob Saibo and his clones.
would then capture the larva inside the body and use the body's organs and
Oh god. Oh my god, I can't look at that.
feeding off of their hosts.
Oh.
Larva would then
Okay, now this is more like it.
and somehow
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
in some cases the poor infected caterpillar is brainwashed into protecting the larvae that are actively eating it alive.
Yeah.
It becomes this sort of morbid protector for these things until they completely drain it, both literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
It's about as close as we'll get to witnessing real-life xenomorphs in action.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Island incident. A aka Crocodile Massacre. The Battle of Ramree
Oh.
Island, also known as the Ramree Island Massacre, might seem like just another tragic chapter in wartime history at first glance. And in theory, it's just another battle out of the numerous that took place in World War II. But this one is different in the sense that it also doubles as an event that caused one of the highest number of human fatalities in an animal. In this case, the animal in question is crocodile. Ramree Island is an island off the coast of Arakan, Burma, known now as Myanmar. It was overtaken by Japanese troops during World War II.
Hang on a second.
And was being used as a front for the Burma invasion. And in January of 1945, British troops were sent to reclaim it. This is where things.
I'm still streaming, Luna. They're gonna hear that in the background.
How?
I'll turn it back on when we stop streaming.
Is that better?
British troops set foot on the island.
But I can't hear what you're
Japanese
saying.
soldiers were forced to either surrender or escape into the massive crocodile
Where do you have headphones to hear this?
Well, I mean, you can turn it up a little bit, and it's not very loud.
Thousands of Japanese troops ran into the swamp and met their absolutely horrendous demise.
Oh my.
Multiple accounts recount that hundreds and hundreds of these soldiers were eaten alive by these animals. Munching.
Madam Bo, when you use Madam Bo was a cameo fight when you fight Sector.
Veteran in Burma said, that night was the most horrible that any member of the ML crews ever experienced. The scattered rifle shots in the pitch-black swamp punctured by the screams of wounded men crushed in the jaws of huge reptiles.
Oh my gosh.
The worrying sound of spinning crocodiles. A cacophony of hell that has rarely been duplicated on Earth.
Oh man.
Vultures arrived to clean up the crocodiles. Of about 1,000 Japanese soldiers that entered the swamp.
And Madam Bo punching a woman in the head with her slapper.
You mean her slipper?
This may just be an exaggerated calling of the event, and only a handful of these soldiers were actually killed by crocodiles. No one can argue that, regardless of the number of victims, the event did not get much more haunting. Walkers of Hiroshima. The bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki is unarguably one of the most inhumane war-related events in history.
Yeah.
Bombs happened to kill over 200,000 people, with the survivors only getting the worst of it. The ant walkers of Hiroshima is a phenomenon that was allegedly seen in the survivors aftermath.
Yeah, the best weapon if someone makes a neck joke about Kung Lao.
Driving houses just moments further. These people were walking in eerily synchronized lines and were going.
Oops.
This became known as ant walking.
Oh.
The term was popularized in the last train from Hiroshima by
I accidentally pressed it by accident.
The entire book is an account of events that happened after the bomb was dropped. It documents the horrifying instant aftermath. As far as the ant walkers are concerned, the book describes the survivors' mechanical trance-like movements as they wandered through the wreckage. The author describes their bodies covered in burns and their minds barely processing what had just happened. What's most haunting is that, in a way, their bodies were still trying to survive even as their minds were forced to jump into autopilot. No doubt, as a coping mechanism.
And walker more like skinwalkers.
That's terrifying.
Well, there's no doubt that many survivors were in a state of severe shock. Historians do argue that the whole ant walker narrative from Pellegrino may have been exaggerated far beyond what it was.
Well, probably.
Or it may have even been misinterpreted. That's not to say that the alternative wasn't.
Yeah.
In fact, actual survivors' first-hand testimonies depict a kind of horror that not even be imagined, let alone be comprehended.
Did you know Cao A Lang wife is the same woman as Hansa Hasahi wife?
Yes, I knew. It's not really new information.
One thing is certain. What happened in Hiroshima that day is something that still haunts humanity.
He can't win.
Ah, the cordyceps fungus.
The Last of Us isn't a completely isolated fictional idea. The
Mm-mm.
franchise basically runs with the idea that a cordyceps fungus outbreak has caused humans to turn into mindless zombies attacking and infecting everything in their path. The thing is, this idea isn't all that improbable. The real-life cordyceps genus consists of parasitic fungi that have already demonstrated eerily similar behavior, just not in humans, yet. These fungi primarily infect insects and other arthropods, most commonly ants, caterpillars, and tarantulas. They work by taking over their victims' bodies and altering their behavior in ways that serve the fungus's survival. They can literally take over the host body completely once infected. The host is then left to do the fungus's bidding. It's compelled to basically find or fight for the correct resources and environment that requires the fungus to grow and thrive into adulthood. Once that is done, the fungus then releases spores to restart the cycle on a new host. Some species, like Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, are particularly terrifying and strangely smart. This fungus specifically targets ants. The creepy part is, it doesn't work like a widespread infection. It handpicks the ants it wants to infect and keeps the rest normal, as if it's purposefully keeping the ant population in check in order not to mess up the ecosystem. While cordyceps currently isn't a threat to humans, the concept of a fungal infection that manipulates its host's behaviors isn't just fiction. It's a very real process.
In invasions in the season of the Spectre, Horny Hansa died in her timeline and she became Skborian on Lord Liu Kang help Hansa founder Harumi and the two Skborians fight to kill Quan Kai.
And Ebola, scientists cannot completely shun the idea of a new cordyceps species that only infects humans. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Kyle's 911 call. Life lost due to gross negligence is something no one can simply ignore. Kyle Plush was a high schooler who had done everything by the book to get help from the authorities, yet he still tragically lost his life.
Is this that kid that got trapped in his car? And he tried to call 911? And the police did a really shitty job of looking for him, and that's why he died anyway.
April 2018, a 911 operator in Cincinnati received a distress call from Kyle Plush. In a calm and collected tone, he explained his situation. Plush was on his way to a tennis match when he got stuck in the back of his minivan while trying to retrieve his equipment. The equipment was on the third row seat, and when he climbed over to get it, the seat collapsed, trapping his upper body inside. Kyle did what, on paper, should have saved his life. He called 911, described his situation, and made it clear he was in desperate need.
Woke.
The operator, clearly not taking him seriously, casually dispatched an officer to look for him. The cop made matters even worse. In the body cam footage, you can see him blasting music through his speakers while casually driving around the parking lot where Kyle's car was. He didn't even bother checking cars matching the given description. Then things escalated. Kyle called 911 again, this time seemingly aware that his time was running out. He asked the operator to tell his mother he loved her, and once again explicitly stated his location and a full description of his car.
I probably went in my car right to tell my mom that I love her so bad. This is not a joke. I'm trapped inside my old Honda sedan in the software parking lot of 7 Hills Back. Turned off 30 immediately. I'm almost dead.
The response was just as careless.
Tell my wife I love her.
Heard saying, "I don't see nobody," which I didn't imagine I would. Clear indication that neither the operator nor the officer had any real intention of taking Kyle serious. Tragically, 6 hours later.
Dude, let's not make jokes, okay? Just saying, let's not make jokes.
Kyle's body was found by his father. This led to a series of legal battles where his parents won, but no victory in court could ever bring their child. Level 4. One man,
Sorry.
2 spoons. There's a viral video floating around the internet. One that's been around for quite some time now and somehow keeps resurfacing every few years. shows a man using 2 spoons to, quite literally, gouge his own eyes out. The video starts with him taking 1 spoon and placing it below his eye.
Oh, dude, come on.
And positioning it above and underneath. Then, in a single, horrifying motion, he stabs the spoons in and tries to scoop his eye out. It goes without saying that the video is deeply disturbing. There's something strange about it. It cuts off abruptly just as he's about to fully remove his eye, which makes a lot of people question if it's even real.
Probably
Some
not.
believe the whole thing is fake, that it's not even a real eye he's trying to take out. This, unfortunately, may not be true because we can clearly see the eye moving and dilating just as he's about to do what he is. Others argue that the video is just bait because it deliberately doesn't show the full act to mess with people. And while that's probably the best conclusion we can hope for, there's no real confirmation either. What's even weirder is that the video is still up on YouTube. It hasn't been taken down and is still publicly available for millions of people to see. And that, more than anything, is what makes people question if it's really as grotesque as the man makes it out to be. A pilot's last words. There's something deeply unsettling about hearing the last words of those who knew they weren't going to make it. As sobering of a fact as this is, the cockpit voice recorders have captured the final moments of many flights. Every recording becomes increasingly haunting with the very palpable resignation of the pilots. They all serve as a dark reminder of just how fragile life can be.
Oh my god, is that real?
Comes from LOT Polish Airlines Flight 5055. The plane suffered a catastrophic engine failure. While they tried what they could to land safely, it suffered total failure that completely destroyed the flight control systems. The captain's final words were as simple as they were devastating. Good night, goodbye, goodbye, we perish. Then there's Air France Flight 447. The plane basically stalled over the Atlantic Ocean and crashed in the middle of it in 2009. In the midst of confusion and chaos, one of the pilots could be heard shouting, "Son of a bitch, we're going to crash. This can't be real." It was a few seconds before the crash. It was the moment of realization that they had truly lost control. Some final words hit even harder because they carry a personal weight. PSA Flight 182, which collided mid-air over San Diego, recorded a passenger's last words saying, "Ma, I love you." It serves as a very heartbreaking reminder that these weren't just tragedies of history. They were real people, real lives, futures that were cut short because of one small mistake. What makes this even sadder is that in most of these cases, you cannot really fault anyone. Peaches and Glitter. In September 2020, a Reddit user named Peaches and Glitter made a post on r/legal advice. At first, the post seemed like a pretty standard case of...
Oh, that case.
...had just moved into a duplex that was half owned by her father-in-law.
Dude, I've heard this on those YouTubers that read Reddit stories. Yeah, I've heard this one. I even heard it. I think I first heard it on one of those "Am I the Asshole" or something like that. Well, I mean, it wasn't "Am I the Asshole?" It was r/legal advice. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I've heard this story before. It just takes kind of a unexpected dark turn.
Before they even moved in, her father-in-law had given them a heads up. The daughter had some severe mental health issues and had already driven the previous tenants away by constantly accusing them of things they didn't do. So, not the best start. And as expected, things did not get any better when OP, the poster, and her husband moved in. In fact, they got seemingly worse when the couple brought their newborn baby home. As one would expect from a newborn, the baby cried a lot. This, for some reason, set off the neighbor in the worst way possible. She started banging on the shared wall and basically hurling insults at them every time the baby made a sound. Naturally, this freaked out Opie's dog, which meant even more noise, which in turn made the neighbor even angrier. It was a full-blown nightmare cycle. OP was already struggling with postpartum depression, and moving out wasn't an option financially, so she turned to Reddit for help. Unfortunately, the advice she got was useless. People either blamed her for not soundproofing the walls or told her to just move, which obviously wasn't helpful. The post didn't gain much traction, and eventually it disappeared into the abyss of the internet. It was until she came back with an update in May 2021. And, well, things had gone from bad to straight-up horror movie territory. Neighbors' banging had gotten really bad, to the point that it had escalated to breaking a hole through the shared wall so she could yell at them directly. If that wasn't enough, OP caught her on security cameras just standing outside her baby's nursery window in the middle of the night. She'd simply be menacingly holding her cat and looking inside, staring at their baby. The worst part was the smell. OP explicitly mentioned that when the wall came down, there was this god-awful smell that came with it. At that point, the cops finally decided to do something. They entered the neighbor's unit, and that's when they made the real discovery. Her mother, the actual owner of the other half of the duplex and the daughter's caretaker, had been dead for almost a year. The daughter had just been keeping the body locked in a room and fully dressed. When asked why she didn't report her mother's death, she simply stated that she didn't want to be alone. After that, the daughter was taken to a psychiatric facility. It discovered that the mother had died of natural causes, while the daughter's mental health deteriorated further due to the traumatic, horrific experience. Level 5. Feral Children. Story of Jeannie Wiley. Jeannie Wiley's
Get
story
rid of the body, it will smell like a cigarette.
Looking into her on the internet throws you into this dark rabbit hole of feral children. People who have been isolated from human contact from a young age, which have resulted in severe developmental issues. In the case of Jeannie Wiley, she was born in 1957 and spent the first 13 years of her life in complete, utter isolation. According to the little information known of her, she was locked away in a dark room by her father and basically left to survive tied to a chair. Her father was ridiculously paranoid and had this weird obsession with silence. He would punish Jeannie whenever she tried to make a sound. Naturally, that made her wary of everything. She didn't learn to talk, barely moved, and had almost no understanding of the world outside that tiny, suffocating space. When she was finally discovered in 1970, she was 13 but had the physical and mental development of a much younger child. A worker who initially interacted with her thought she was around 5 or 6 and was possibly autistic. She couldn't speak properly and had little to no social cues that gave people any indication of what she wanted. According to scientists, she didn't even have any emotion. Because of how tightly she was bound to her chair, her limbs were weak and malformed, which made her walk with a strange, bunny-like gait. Her case became a huge deal for scientists and linguists because it gave them a rare and pretty messed up opportunity. After all, it's not every day we get to come across a human who has grown up without literally any language or social interaction. We tried to teach her to speak and learn social cues, and while she did make some progress by learning a few words and figuring out how to get what she wants, but as far as we know, she was never able to fully develop normal speech. Her case became a major argument for the whole critical period theory, which basically states that if you don't learn a language by a certain age, you probably never will. Unfortunately, things didn't exactly have a happy ending.
Aww.
Bouncing between foster homes and being subjected to more mistreatment, she eventually faded from public view. The last real update on her was that she was living in a private care facility in California, but not much else was known. The death
Oh my
of
gosh.
Deborah Stevens. There seems to be a consistent theme in this video about morbid negligence and how so many lives could have been saved, or at the very least spared unnecessary suffering, and people were just kind. The death of Deborah Stevens may possibly be one of the worst cases. Deborah Stevens was a 47-year-old woman who worked as a newspaper delivery woman in Fort Smith, Arkansas. On the morning of August 24th, 2019, Deborah was going on about her day like normal when she unexpectedly got caught in flash flood. Her SUV was swept into the hot spot of the flood.
Page 62 Johnny Cage deads is someone height.
She was terrified and instantly called 911. The dispatcher she reached, Donna Renew, didn't make headlines for heroically doing her job because of how utterly horrible she was to a woman who was about to lose her life.
They can all see me. They're all standing out there watching us. Miss Debbie, you're going to have to shut up, okay?
Deborah Stevens.
Excuse me?
Nothing short of horrifying. The worst part, it wasn't just because of her completely hopeless situation, but because of the sheer cruelty she faced from the very person who was supposed to help her. Instead of offering comfort or even basic human decency, Renault treated Deborah like she was nothing more than an inconvenience. The dispatcher was cold and borderline rude from the second Deborah called for what would later be a 22-minute conversation. She repeatedly blamed Deborah for her situation, saying things like, "This will teach you next time not to drive in the water."
Oh yeah, I think I remember this case too.
You can feel Deborah's terror as she sobs and pleads for help, while Renault remains indifferent. At one point, Deborah even apologizes for being scared.
I'm sorry if I'm rude. I'm scared. I'm rude. I know you're scared. You calm down. I'm scared.
And what really takes the cake is the fact that this was Renault's last shift. She had already put in her 2 weeks' notice, and this was the last time she'd ever work as a dispatcher. Rescue teams did arrive for Deborah, but it was too late. By the time they got to her, she had already died. An internal investigation later ruled that while Renault's behavior was unprofessional, it wasn't enough to warrant termination or legal action. So, in the end, Deborah lost her life when the woman who told her to shut up walked away without consequences. And while that might make sense legally, it should at least make people realize how important basic compassion and empathy are, especially in a job where people's lives depend on it. Rabies symptoms. Rabies as a disease.
Oh yeah, that is terrifying.
It has nearly a 100% fatality rate once symptoms appear and basically has no cure once the symptoms have fully set in. But what truly makes it so nightmarish is how it affects people in their final stages. You could even go as far as to say that if there was a virus in this world that was remotely similar to a real zombie virus, it would be rabies. When it progresses, especially in the later stages, it's terrifying. One of the most disturbing symptoms of rabies is hydrophobia, or the fear of water. The virus basically causes the rabies patient's throat to painfully constrict every time water is even near it. If you've ever come across a video showing this, you'll know how unsettling it can be to watch. You see the person struggling to drink, and it's just heartbreaking. This video of a man with rabies is shown to have completely given up on it. He's sitting down in a pool of murky water and is trying to drink clean water from a bottle, but he just cannot seem to do it. The worst part about the disease is you can't even detect it or try figuring out what it is in the early stages. It starts out with pretty common flu-like symptoms, a little bit of fever, headache, maybe some weakness. But unfortunately, even small symptoms after exposure to the virus are a death sentence. You're virtually dead from that point onwards. The virus attacks the nervous system slowly but surely, until there's nothing left for it to attack. Sashi Ouchi. Sashi Ouchi was a technician at the Tokimura nuclear fuel processing plant in Japan. On September 30th, 1999, he and two co-workers were manually mixing uranium in stainless steel buckets in order to speed up the conversion process for shipping. But what they were unaware of was that this practice was extremely dangerous and outdated. It triggered something called a criticality accident, which is basically an uncontrolled nuclear fission reaction that releases intense bursts of radiation. It was precisely what happened here. Uchi was exposed to an estimated 17 sieverts of radiation.
Oh my gosh.
Context, 8 sieverts is considered 100% lethal.
Oh,
Gucci
wow.
suffered severe radiation burns and extreme cellular damage. His DNA was so obliterated that his body could no longer regenerate new cells. When checked, his body had practically no white blood cells in it. Despite
Whoa.
this, doctors at the University of Tokyo Hospital kept him alive for 83 agonizing days based on his family's wishes. He was basically forced to live through his pain using extreme medical interventions that may even sound unethical to some. He received multiple skin grafts and blood transfusions to compensate for his non-existent immune system. Initially, Ouchi was conscious and even able to talk, but his condition rapidly worsened. At the end of his life, he began to suffer repeated heart failures. While his medical team somehow did manage to resuscitate him each time, there was only so much they could do. Eventually, after weeks of unimaginable suffering, he passed away on December 21st, 1999. The Tokaimura incident became one of Japan's worst nuclear disasters. What's more is that Uchi's case became known worldwide, not just for the horrifying effects of radiation poisoning, but also for the ethical controversy surrounding how long he was kept alive. But one thing to keep in mind before pointing any fingers is that Uchi's decline wasn't constant. There were multiple moments where he showed signs of miraculous recovery, which gave everyone hope that he might just be able to pull through. So, blaming his doctors or family for being cruel or malicious wouldn't be fair. Level 6.
Goodness.
Petty Cabin, aka Cabin 28. With how horrible the Petty Cabin were, it's honestly baffling how the entire case is still unsolved. The case tragically involves 4 victims. Sue Sharp, a 36-year-old mother, her 15-year-old son, John Sharp, John's 17-year-old friend, Dana Wingate, and Sue's 12-year-old daughter, Tina Sharp. Sue and her kids had been living in the rural town of Ketty after separating.
This one sounds familiar too.
On April 11th,
I think I might have heard this one.
She, 2 of her kids, and their friend were brutally murdered in cabin 28. 3 of the victims were found in the cabin's living room in the most horrific way possible. Bound with medical tape and electrical wiring, and the bruises on their bodies made it very clear that whatever happened that night was pure horror. Tina, Sue's other child, who was unfortunately there that day, was missing. This did give a little bit of hope that maybe she'd somehow survive. And 3 years later, her skull was found nearly 100 miles away in a different county. The strangest part of the entire case was that 3 children, Sue's younger sons, Greg and Rick, and their friend Justin Smart, were in the next room the entire time. But they were perfectly fine and had been left completely unharmed. They later reported hearing muffled noises during the night, but none of them had any memory of the attack. Despite all the evidence left behind, the case somehow went cold ridiculously fast. There was gross mishandling on the authorities' part, and nothing ever really came of it. The weirdest thing, though, a man named Marty Smart allegedly confessed multiple times to committing murders. He wrote his ex-wife a letter where he straight up referenced the 4 lives taken, and his therapist even confirmed that he had confessed. Despite recent efforts to revive the case with DNA analysis, it remain unsolved. And of course, a lot of people believe that local law enforcement covered up the crime due to their connections with the suspects. Which, yeah, considering how everything played out, it wouldn't exactly be surprising.
Yeah, I have heard that story before.
Tim McLean was a 22-year-old man from Winnipeg, Manitoba, who had been working in Edmonton, Alberta as a carnival worker. On the day of his murder, he was on a Greyhound bus heading back to Winnipeg after finishing the job. Tim was sitting at the rear end of the bus with his headphones on and was noticeably tired. This made him keep dozing off at intervals. At some point during the ride, a man by the name of Vince Lee boarded the same bus McLean was on. Weirdly enough, despite having space, Lee moved to sit on the seat right next to McLean, who was already asleep. What happened next was straight out of a horror movie. Lee pulled out a massive knife, completely unprovoked, and began hacking at McLean's sleeping form.
Oh, gosh.
Repeatedly stabbed McLean in
Jesus Christ.
Luckily enough, even that didn't make him stop. He started cutting off pieces of McLean's body and disturbingly began consuming.
Oh my
The standoff with
God.
law enforcement lasted hours. He eventually tried to escape through a window but was arrested on the spot. When officers searched him, they found McLean's body parts stuffed in his pockets. Others, like his liver and eyes, were missing, leading authorities to believe he had fully consumed. This case also does not have a happy ending, unfortunately. When Lee was presented in court to be duly judged, it came out that he was suffering from untreated schizophrenia. He claimed he was hearing voices that were telling him to get rid of McLean. The voices claimed that McLean was a threat to humanity and had to be eliminated. Because of this, in March 2009, he was found not criminally responsible and sent to a high-security psychiatric facility instead of prison. Over the years, he was gradually given more and more freedoms until 2017, he was granted a full release. Nevada Town. The case of Nevada Town is one of the most unsettling incidents of juvenile crime. And it's not just because of what went down during it, it's because of how distasteful the internet's reaction was to it. Sasebo, Nagasaki Prefecture in June of 2004. An 11-year-old girl killed her 12-year-old classmate. The girl lured her victim to an empty classroom during lunch break and slashed at her with a box knife. The victim, Satomi Mitsurai, had had wrists and throat slit. Was left to bleed out.
Oh my
After
God.
the crime, Suji Natsumi simply returned to class as if nothing had happened. Teachers found the bloody crime scene and noticed the blood on Suji's uniform and called the police. She was instantly taken into custody and apparently kept apologizing throughout the questioning. When asked about the motive, it was found that the victim had posted some stuff about Suji that she found insulting. These messages were about Suji's weight and called her a goody-goody. In September 2004, she was sentenced to institutionalization despite being a minor. She was hospitalized for 4 years.
I think I heard this one too.
The crime itself was horrifying. The internet's response took things to a whole new level of disturbing. People on the internet somehow managed to not only downplay the extent of Suji's crime, but also glamorize her. Netizens got so immersed in the case that they dug around enough to find an old photo of Suji. In the picture, she was wearing a University of Nevada sweatshirt. That, her fans decided to immortalize her by turning her into a meme. They started calling her Nevada Tom because of the sweatshirt depicting Tom being a childlike version of her child. Soon enough, fan art and bizarre tributes started surging. Some people even treated her like a fictional horror character rather than a real-life hero. Even now, the girl has a massive online following where she's basically considered a cult icon for doing what she did.
That's sick, but it's the internet for you.
Most survival movies are dramatized versions of real-life movies. But if there's one survival story that is not dramatized and is as frightening as it's told, it's the horrifying ordeal of Trash Man and the 5 people aboard it. Trash Man.
I'm the trash man. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
It's a 58-foot yacht that was set to sail from Maine to Florida in October 1982. Everyone on board was a very experienced sailor, so naturally, for all of them, this was just a routine thing where they'd come out perfectly unscathed. Unluckily,
I am the trash man, I love trash.
5 people on the Trash Man at the time of the tragedy were Captain John Leapoff, his girlfriend Meg Mooney, and 3 crew members named Mark Adams, Brad Kavanaugh, and Deborah Scaling Hyde. Everything seemed fine at first and was going all according to plan. That is, until they hit a monstrous storm off the coast of North Carolina.
Look, man, these people are already having a hell of a time. Don't be adding sea monsters
I
to
throw the
the
trash
mix.
and eat off the floor. Here is a sea monster, fly the chat.
So trash and I eat it off the floor.
If you think that sounds bad, it gets worse.
Oh no.
The storm was very unforgiving and left most of them with a lot of very critical injuries. The real nightmare were the sharks that were constantly circling. Since they literally were in the middle of the ocean, the crew faced really bad circumstances.
Or the trash if the garbage can.
Starvation, and the lack of resources to dress their injuries. 2 of the crew members started hallucinating after drinking seawater. In their delirium, they walked off the raft and into the waters with at least a dozen sharks waiting for them. They were never there.
Hey, wait a minute. You know what? I remember watching a movie way back. I don't know if it was like late 90s, early 2000s, or mid-late. It was somewhere around that time. There was a movie about this group of friends that went sailing. And they ended up crashing and like floating in the middle of the ocean, and
It is a Jaws.
some of them drank like the seawater, and like some of them were hallucinating, and they were really injured and dying off. Was that movie based on this? I have to look that up.
Meg Mooney had cut her leg when the raft initially capsized. Did not last much longer either. That left only Deborah and Brad clinging to whatever shred of life they had. After 5 agonizing days, they were finally rescued by a passing Soviet cartridge. Level 7. Meredith Kircher was a
I'll have to look that up. That sounds real. That sounds a lot like that movie I'm talking about.
She was under the Erasmus program and had her entire life ahead. Tragically, Kircher was found brutally in her bedroom on November 1st, 2007. She had been stabbed multiple times and there were signs of struggle. The crime scene was gruesome. Things only got messier. At first, the Italian police seemed to be throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck. They arrested her roommate, Amanda Knox, and Knox's boyfriend, Raffaele Solecito. Another man, Rudy Guede, was also taken into custody. Unlike the others, his DNA and fingerprints were all over the crime scene, which basically gave it away and directly linked him to the attack. Guede was put through a fast-track trial and convicted of grand assault in 2008. Knox and Solecito's trial dragged on. By the end of 2009, they were both convicted. Knox got 26 years in prison while Solecito received 25. But in 2011, all these convictions were overturned. The reason was the complete mess of forensic mistakes and unreliable evidence. If you look at Meredith Kircher's case, be warned, there are leaked crime scene photos online. They're as disturbing as you expect. The Otaku. Tsutomu Miyazaki, infamously known as the Otaku.
Oh, yeah.
Horrific crimes
This story.
in Japan committed between 1988 and 1989. He was responsible for the kidnapping and mutilating of 4 young girls in the span of only 11 months. His crimes were so horrific that the word otaku started to carry negative and even sinister connotations in Japan. It became a stigma that took years to fade. Even now, the otaku remain one of Japan's most disturbing criminal cases. That's not what really made Miyazaki stand out. His modus operandi involved tracking his victims' homes and sending their remains back to their families. His first victim, he sent her cremated ashes to her parents along with a bizarre note that included her name and the word bones. Fortunately, after successfully killing 4 times, his final
That's awful.
attempt at kidnapping another girl failed. The victim managed to alert her father, who caught Miyazaki and called the police. After his arrest, authorities searched Miyazaki's house and uncovered thousands of videotapes, including horror films, anime, and footage of his victims. Those anime tapes were what dubbed Miyazaki as the otaku killer. The media just ran with it. This, in turn, sparked a moral panic about the supposed dangers of anime and media consumption, much to the frustration of actual anime fans.
Yeah.
During his trial, Miyazaki rambled about an alter ego.
It's just like people who commit terrible crimes, but they were avid gamers. Oh no, it's the video games. The video games make people like this. And it was like, no, just no.
Ego called Ratman, who behaved erratically The court found him fully aware of his actions, sentenced to death in 1997. Rostov Ripper. Andrei Chikatilo, the Rostov Ripper, was a Soviet
It was all the shooters games like Call of Duty.
Yeah, really.
Born
Wow.
in Ukraine in 1936 and had a tough life growing up, which possibly shaped his future and fueled him for his crimes. There were even rumors that his older brother was kidnapped and eaten during the Ukrainian rams.
Oh my
When he
God.
did start killing, it was nothing short of monstrous. He lured victims to secluded areas where he stabbed and mutilated. He often took his time and had almost 52 victims on his record. He was also
Jesus.
extremely careful about leaving evidence behind, which is partly why it took over a decade to catch him. His downfall came in 1990 when police used new forensic techniques to finally track him down. They somehow managed to break him, and he confessed in disturbing detail.
Jesus Christ, man.
He even led authorities to his previously unknown crime scenes. Even his 1992 trial was a spectacle. He appeared in a cage with a wild look on his face and ranted incoherently. This led to verbal showdowns between him and the judge, with the judge even shouting at him to shut up. Chikatilo tried to play the insanity card, but it didn't work. In the end, he was sentenced to death, executed by gunshot in 1994. If this video left you wanting more, why not take the plunge into the first volume of this topic?
Oof, man. Alright, let's see. Is there anything else?
2 hours for the stream.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, and first of all, I just have to say thank you so much for all the support I've received in my last video. It truly does mean a lot to me. And I will be making a part 2, but this time I will be talking about more obscure videos from every single year. And of course, a special shout out to my YouTube editor who is right behind me. But yeah, in this video we will be talking about 5 disturbing lost media cases. I did make this video already where I talked about 6 disturbing lost media cases, and I really tried to find a 6th one for this video, but in all honesty I couldn't really find a good disturbing lost media case because a lot of them have been talked about to death, and some of them are just not interesting at all. But if I do decide to make another video like this one, you can just comment down below what disturbing lost media cases you want me to talk about. But enough blabbering, I'll just get straight into this video. On August 19, 2010, something tragic happened during a concert at the Mountain Winery in Saratoga, California. The Swell Season, a band known for its emotional music, was performing in front of nearly 2,000 people. Just after they finished playing the song, When Your Mind's Made Up, a man jumped from the roof and passed away in front of everybody. The man was
Oh my gosh.
32-year-old Michael Edward Pickles. Around 10 p.m., he quietly left his seat, climbed up to a rooftop about 20 to 30 feet above the stage, and landing just a few feet away from the singer, Brian Hanser. Everyone
Oh,
in the
man.
concert was shocked. Some people ran to help, while others called for an ambulance. Luckily, there were paramedics already in the crowd. They began doing CPR right away and kept trying for over 30 minutes. A doctor who happened to be in the audience also helped. Sadly, they couldn't save him, and Pickles was announced dead at the scene. Later, it came out that Pickles had a troubled past. On New Year's Day earlier that year, he had been arrested for threatening to take both himself and his girlfriend out. He had recently gotten out of jail on a $150,000 bail. Even though many people were filming the concerts, there is no known video of the moment he jumped in front of the crowd. A YouTube user named Piton said they do have the footage of it, but they've only shown it to the police and the band out of respect. Some videos from before and after the incident are out there, but the actual moment hasn't been made public. The night was supposed to be about music and coming together. Instead, it became a moment that everyone who was there will never forget. It was a sad reminder that people can be struggling inside, even in a place for joy and celebration. This lost media case isn't really that talked about, and it may actually be your first time hearing about this. My lost media videos do tend to perform better on my channel, and I do want to say, if you by chance have the footage of this, do not release it and just keep it lost. In matter of fact, you should delete it. Because I do strongly believe that there's a lot of footage of this incident with many camera angles, and I'm actually surprised that this lost media hasn't been found. But we should still keep it lost because it is kind of messed up if anyone decides to release this footage.
I'm gonna assume that that guy planned on ending himself, and maybe he really loved that band, so he, went there to experience them as his last, for his last moments. He wanted to go and see them, experience them, and then he decided, he was ready and he jumped. I'm gonna assume that's what was going on.
On the morning of January 8th, 2011, a mass shooting took place outside a supermarket in Casa Grande, Arizona, during a public event held by Representative Gabrielle Giffords. At 10:10 a.m., Jared Lee Lafner pulled out and fired at Giffords in the head at close
Oh my gosh.
He then hit the crowd of 6 people, including federal judge John Rowland. A store employee who was nearby reported hearing between 15 to 20 shots. As the chaos unfolded, bystander Roger struck Jared in the back of the head with a folding chair, hoping to stop him before he was later arrested. Surveillance footage of the store captured the shooting.
Well, good on that guy.
Castigar from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, the video shows Jared walking up quickly with a gun down at his side. He raises it and fires one shot above Giffords' eye from just 2 to 3 feet away. He then turns the gun onto others nearby and fires at a similarly close range. Judge John Roll was reportedly trying to help save Giffords' employee, Ronald Barber, when he was killed. Barber, who was near Gifford at the time, was shot twice but later recovered and was released from the hospital. This security footage clearly shows the attack, but it has never been released to the public. It is believed that the FBI still holds the video and will likely never make it available. The Luby's cafeteria walkthrough video is a piece of crime scene footage showing the aftermath of a mass that took place inside a Texas restaurant, leaving 23 people dead. While the full video hasn't been released online, parts of it have been shown to the public, confirming its existence. Luby's is a chain of cafeteria-style restaurants based in Texas, and despite suffering financial losses from the COVID-19 pandemic, more than 40 locations were still operating as of January 2022. In 1990, Luby's opened a new location in Killeen, Texas. It became popular among older customers and people on lunch breaks.
Really, he even had to censor the name of the place just because it had the word kill in it. Man, that's insane.
5-year-old George Henry drove his 1987 Ford Ranger pickup truck through the front window and into the restaurant. Many people rushed over, thinking it was a car accident, trying to help Henry and those who had been knocked down. But then Henry opened with a Glock 17 and a Ruger P89 semi-automatic.
Everything must be censored now.
taking out 22 people.
I found it funny that murder had to be censored, but mutilated was fine to say. Weird.
As she tried to follow them. One man, local mechanic Tommy Bond, broke a window with his body, helping many others escape. 3 police officers entered and tried to flank Henry. After being shot twice, Henry ran toward the bathroom area, claimed he had a hostage, and exchanged fire with police. He was hit again and eventually took himself out. The entire massacre lasted just 12 minutes. A 23rd victim, 62-year-old cream-hilled Kitty Davis, died on October 19 after being placed in a medically induced coma. Luby's paid for all the funeral expenses of the victims. Henry's exact motives were never fully clear. He had a history of abuse, sexual violence, and failed relationships. According to his ex-roommate, Henry often spoke badly about women, even getting into fights with his own mother. Survivors said he seemed to target women on purpose, stepping over men to. During the attack, he yelled things like, "All women of Killeen are vipers. This is what you've done to me and my family," as well as, "This is what the women of Bell County did to me." At one point, he taunted the victim by shouting, "Hidden from me, bitch," before shooting her at close range. Months before the shooting, he had been accused of stalking a woman and her 2 daughters. Though the family was concerned, Henry never directly threatened them, so an official investigation never happened. This tragedy led to changes in Texas gun laws, especially because of survivor Susanna Hunt, who lost both her parents in the attack. Her activism helped make concealed carry legal in Texas. Today, Texas has some of the loosest control laws in the county. The Luby's in Killeen reopened 5 months later after the
Well, it's Texas, so I'm not surprised.
In September 2000. The building still stands and now houses a Chinese American buffet called Yak Scene. As for the walkthrough video, before filming began, 3 napkins were placed over the victim's face to tag them. Some were turned onto their backs for proper identification. For example, one victim, 70-year-old Venice, is shown lying on her side, suggesting the video may have started with a general walk-around before each couple was filmed individually with their IDs. Clips of the video first appeared in the 2008 documentary Going Postal, 15 Shocking Acts of Violence, where the show was ranked 6. More footage aired in December 2017 on the show Copycat Kids, which included more graphic parts while censoring the faces. Some disturbing moments shown in the clips include 41-year-old Connie Peterson's lower body visible as she hid in the serving line, while another woman is seen dead in a chair and someone else laying near the driver's side of the truck covered in blood. James and Lila Welsh, both 75, are shown near the crash site, lying on their backs. James had a checkbook on his chest, which may have been used for identification since he didn't have an ID. While most of the footage hasn't been released, a photo album confirms the accuracy of these scenes. In 2016, a Reddit user said they watched the footage during a criminal justice class in Bell County. They described how the video began from the truck's path and showed the videographer moving from one victim to another, recording their location with IDs placed on their chests. According to them, the victims had all been turned over so their faces could be clearly documented. The user's story was shared before the 2017 footage aired, adding credibility to their claim. The exact length of the footage is unknown. A nighttime photo of police examining Henry's truck suggests the walkthrough may have lasted several hours. It's also possible that multiple videos were recorded for different purposes, including evidence collection. As of December 2021, the full footage is believed to still be in possession of the Killeen Police Department. It's unclear if any copies exist with former investigators. There's a really good chance that more footage could be found, considering how many times these clips have surfaced.
Yes, I see the sea monster.
On February 14, 2018, 19-year-old Nicholas Jacob Cruz entered Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, the same school he had previously attended. Armed with a 15, Cruz walked over to a fire alarm and activated it. As students began exiting their classrooms into the hallways, he opened fire.
Oh my
The
gosh.
shooting lasted just 6 minutes before Cruz attempted to escape. He was captured approximately 40 minutes later. In total, he took out 17 students and injuring 17 others, making it the deadliest high school in modern American history since the Columbine massacre in 1999. Surveillance cameras were operating throughout the school on the day of the exterior footage captured the police response, while interior cameras documented the massacre as it unfolded. Of the various recordings made that day, only 6 videos have been made public so far. The first released footage, which was edited, shows Scott Peterson, the school's resource officer, during his response to the following up.
I'm assuming not the same Scott Peterson that we're thinking of. Guy who murdered his wife. Boy, what an unfortunate name that guy shares.
Public pressure, the footage was petitioned to release. The full 20 minutes revealed that Peterson never entered the building during the attack. About 5 months later, more exterior security footage was released, including video from the school's main gates, walkways, and parking lots. Due to the subject matter, the footage of the actual will never get released, and nearly impossible for anyone who isn't involved to get their hands on the footage, which is a good thing, meaning that this lost media will stay lost forever. Although the victims' families were granted permission to view the footage, many declined, but one person who viewed it was Fred Buttenberg, the father of one of the victims, Jamie, and this is what he had to say about the footage.
And I watched you kill my daughter. And unfortunately, I saw you and many of the others as well.
On March 9, 2001, in Rottenburg, Germany, 39-year-old IT technician Armin met an engineer named Bernd. After connecting,
oh, this story.
Called the Cafe. The site was centered around
Rammstein wrote a song about this guy.
Clearly warned users who couldn't separate fantasy from reality to leave. Using the alias Frankie, Armin had posted an ad seeking a volunteer willing to be pulled and eaten. After several failed attempts, including one man who backed out after meeting up with him, Bernd responded, sharing a similar fetish, but instead of wanting to eat human flesh,
was it Mindtail? Is that the song?
After Bernd arrived, he requested that Armin to bite off his pee-pee. Believe it or not, that was a bit too difficult, and I wouldn't even imagine the him. After that, Armin used a knife to you-know-what. Bernd tried to eat the organ raw, but found it too chewy. Armin attempted to fry it in the pan with some of Bernd's fat, adding spices and marinated it, but he left it on the pan for too long and he burned it. Since that
well, shit.
Looks like Johnny Cage.
No, he does not. Shut up. What do you mean?
Where he slowly bled out over the next 3 hours.
You need to get your eyes checked.
To dull the pain, and read a Star Trek novel as Bernd slipped further into unconsciousness. Eventually, Armin kissed him on the forehead and fatally stabbed him in the throat.
Neither of them do. What are you talking about?
Prepared for the act, hung it up, and disappeared it. The entire event was recorded on a 2-hour videotape found in Armin's.
Bruh, you're just trolling. Cut it out.
In December of 2002, the arrest came after Armin described what had happened in detail on the same forum, while also looking for a second victim. Over the next 10 months, Armin stored the remains in the freezer and consumed an estimated 20 kilograms of Bernd's flesh. The tape has never been released publicly and is currently held by German authorities. It was only shown during Armin's trial, where it reportedly caused such distress and some journalists required therapy afterwards.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Footage have appeared online, though their authenticity remains unverified. Armin was initially charged with manslaughter and sentenced to 8 years, but the case was retired in 2005. He was then convicted of murder and now serving a life sentence in Castle Prison. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and if you really enjoyed it, I bet you will love this one as well. And of course,
more sea monster, I love it.
It really does mean a lot to me. And follow me on Instagram at @MorePeopleFun, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys.
Alright. I think we're gonna call it for tonight. It's late. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on another Spooky Sunday. Hope you had fun. Is there anybody to read?
The link to my Discord and my YouTube channel is on my Twitch page, and I have a donation link is not required, but you can do if you want to do, and I have a subscribe button because I am Twitch affiliate, and so I have subscribe on the channel now. Bye, I'll see you again.
Alright, let's see.
Ice to buy you.
Alright, we're gonna raid Terrorizer, guys. Yeah. Have fun. I'll see y'all maybe tomorrow. Bye.